The opinions expressed on the X and Y Show are the sole opinions of the host. Please note, there is no intentional desire to offend any member of the listening audience. With that said, if you still feel offended, tough shit.
It's time for the X and Y Show with your host, Mr. Roosevelt. He talks about man topics, lady topics, and relationships. He talks about love, sex, and infidelities. He even gives good tips. There is no other show that compares to the X and Y Show.
Oh yeah. Sit back, take your clothes off, and relax. It's time for the X and Y Show, where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. The only place on the planet that tackles the topics that everyone wants to talk about, but no one is brave enough to address. Nothing escapes X and Y, baby. Now, here's your host, Roosevelt Colbert.
And greetings. Welcome to another segment of the XY Show. I'm your host, Roosevelt. And I want to apologize. I've been away for a couple of weeks, maybe at least 2 weeks, maybe 3. You have to forgive me. Right now, I'm really, I know, a lot of you have heard me talk about how I hate Florida, even though I'm born and raised in Miami. But I hate this state. It's fucked up. A lot of things I don't like. I'm not gonna. Well, I'll get into it a little bit. I mean, it's too hot. I don't like the hot. I don't like the heat. Year round. Fucking Christmas Day is 89 degrees. Still have to run your AC. All that bullshit. So it's hot year round. 6 months out of the year, you got to worry about getting blown off the face of the planet from fucking hurricanes. It's expensive, you barely can buy a house. If you buy a house, you're gonna spend $850 for it for a damn 2-1 in a war-ridden area. You want a nice house, you're gonna spend at least $3 million. So it's expensive, and I don't even like the fucking beach. I don't go to the beach, so fuck that. There's nothing here in Florida that I like. So I'm really trying to get the fuck out of here. And that's why I haven't been recording as much. But, because I'm really trying to get out of here. I'm trying to explore my options. And I didn't think that it'd be this long. I didn't think it'd take this long. My actual goal was to be out of here before hurricane season, but I guess I failed because it's hurricane season again. It's June 1st. June to November. Then we have to watch the damn tropics. So you people that's listening from Michigan and, New York and Milwaukee and, anywhere that's north, even North Carolina, certain parts of North Carolina, got hurricanes too. But somewhere where it gets cold or changes seasons, I would trade with you in a moment. You want to come to Florida so bad? Make me a deal. Shit. I'll trade places with you. But anyway, that's why I haven't been recording. It's starting to take a toll on me, because I come from my day job and I go right into the mode of trying to find somewhere to get out of here. I don't want to go to another fucked up place. I'm not leaving Florida and going to another fucked up state. And so that's taking longer. And then, I wanted to be my last stop. I've been moving around a lot in my life. And I want the last one to be home. So that means I'm not looking for anywhere like, Montana. Although I would go to Montana. It's the weather that I like. They have a long winter, but it's expensive as fuck there. It's cost you $900 for a 2-1, a house that was built in the 1900s or some shit. So Montana is crazy too. So I had to find a state that I can go that's affordable with the change of the season. That's all I want. That's all I want. Fuck the beach. I don't go to the beach. I haven't been going to the beach since I can't even remember. It's probably 90 or 91, somewhere around there. So I don't go to the beach. So that's all I want. Somewhere when it gets Christmas time, it's cold. It's 30 and below, or snowing even. That'd even be better. That's what I want. Somewhere where I can see fall coming in, in the bird months, and then winter time, Christmas, and get cold, no hurricanes, and that's affordable. That's all I want. Why is that so hard? But anyway, that's why I haven't recorded, because it's taking a toll. Once I come home from my day job and look for work, trying to get the fuck out of here, I'm tired. So, but I'm going to do better. Can't neglect my X and Y duties, because you guys and gals need help. The X and Y clientele, you need help. You need me. So I can't neglect my duties and giving you the ultimate advice on certain things. So I can't do that any longer, and I won't do that anymore. So I have to do better, and I will. So I apologize for that. All right, let's get into something. A lot of things going on in the world. Shannon Sharp in trouble with that messing around with that little girl, and he got to do something more explaining. I don't know how these dudes get in trouble, man. They don't protect themselves, from shenanigans. He ought to know better. So I don't know. A lot of things going on. P. Diddy on trial and shit. A strong arming motherfuckers. I don't know. It's a lot going on out there, and I don't usually get into that shit because it's so much. But it's some special people out there. I'm gonna just leave it there. Okay. I saw this segment on, it was online somewhere, basically about a lady who was angry because she couldn't find anyone that will date her because of her kids. And she was quite angry. And she made a segment online. It was pretty long in detail. And, she was emotional. Basically having the question, why won't men date me? Because of my children. I have my children. I'm not going to get rid of my children, blah, blah, blah. Men don't understand that, I have them, and that's something they should be able to understand. They should basically, she was saying, shut the fuck up, and just be happy with the situation. So you get me, you get my kids too. Now shut the fuck up. That's basically what she was saying. So you know me, I have to give my take on certain things when I see it. And I think I've touched on this lightly in the past, but I never had a whole episode on it. So I'm going to change that. So tonight's episode is why men don't want to be stepdads. Why men do not want to be stepdads. And it's pretty simple. It's not rocket science. It's not anything that's complicated. But it seems that a lot of women do not understand why men choose not to go in a situation such as that. Now, all situations where there's stepchildren is not a bad one. There are good stories where, a lot of stepkids would tell you, if it wasn't for my stepdad, I wouldn't be here today. If it wasn't for my stepdad, I would have gone to jail. If it wasn't for my stepdad, I would have been killed a long time ago. If it wasn't for my stepdad, I wouldn't be the man or woman that I am today. So there are good stories, right? But those are exceptions to the rule. And for the good stories there are so many bad stories, and a lot more bad stories than there are good. At least it seems to be. So a lot of men don't want to take that chance. It's simply not worth it to take a chance on a situation where stepchildren are involved. Stepdads are involved, real dads are involved. And a lot of men choose not to go and be a part of that because there's so many problems. It's already problematic when it's just you and her and your own kids coming out of your nuts. It's already problems then. So to ask a man to go into a situation where you're dealing with problems from somebody else's nuts or somebody else's loins, whatever you want to say, a lot of men don't want any parts of that, including myself. I've said, I think my second episode ever in the X and Y show was why I don't date women with kids, because, it's just so many problems. And I choose, it's my right. Just like a lot of women say, it's my right. I don't want men who are short. Okay. Well, I don't want women with kids. And there's nothing against the kids. I don't hate kids. I actually love kids. I want kids one day. And, I'm kind of running out of time. But I want kids one day. So I do love kids. I just don't want to get in a situation to take care of someone else's. And that's my right. And that's how a lot of men feel. Because there are too many problems, too many issues, too many things that you have to deal with when a man, as far from a man point of view, that, normally you wouldn't have to deal with. So a lot of men choose not to. So they don't date women with kids. It's just too many problems, too many issues. So I'm going to give you 5 main reasons. This is for the exes tonight. This is for the women. And the wives too. The guys, you can see if I'm telling the truth. I always tell the truth, but, see if you agree with me or not. If you don't, oh well. The world won't end. But I'm going to give 5 reasons why men steer away from women with kids. And they choose not to be, quote unquote, stepdads. Now, the first reason is women. Now, a lot of women, you go anywhere on a dating app or you meet them in the library or the store or whatever, and eventually come out, especially if it's just a dating app, and eventually come out where they say, look, it's me, I have kids. My kids are number one. They come before everything. So if you can't accept that, move on. A lot of women with kids say that shit. They say that, and it's really asinine for them to say that. Now, women, don't get me wrong. I know you care about your kids. We as men understand that we are number 2. Shit, if the kids came from our nuts, we would be number 2. But most men are willing to accept that, right? They're willing to accept being number 2 when the kids are coming from our nuts. Now, some men are willing to be number 2 with kids coming from someone else's nuts, but they don't want to hear that shit. They don't want to go in hearing that you number 2, motherfucker. You behind my kids, and you able to take it or leave it. Get the fuck out of my face. That's literally what you women are saying. We understand that. You don't have to say that shit. We know going into a situation where there's stepkids, we know we are number 2. We know we are not the primary reason, primary concern of you. We already know this, so we don't need to hear it. And quite frankly, we don't want to hear it. So a lot of women a lot of times the problem could be rectified if you women would just shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up and let everything take its course. You don't have to. I mean, if you shut the fuck up and let it take its course, we might just say, well, damn, she got 2 kids, but you know what? She's nice. The kids are nice. Fuck it, I'll marry her. I'll go in. I'll try it. You know, she nice. I mean, the kids are nice and there are no problems. You know, it's a good situation. I'll take a chance, you know. I'm not saying everyone will. Some men, they don't give a fuck if the kids are the nicest kids in the world. It's going to be a no for them. Yeah, I'm just being real. Some men, no matter what you do, how nice you are, how fine you are, how well you can cook, how well you can fuck, you will never get them because of your kids. Those crumb snatchers you got already. But some will take that opportunity. Some will take that chance if you just shut the fuck up. They don't want to hear you have to accept being behind my kids. My kids are number one, and you can't get with that. You need to go. We don't want to hear that, ladies. And a lot of you women say that. We already know that. You don't need to say it. You don't need to say it. And a lot of you say, oh, I just want to be up front. You don't have to be up front. When you're up front, you're already disqualifying yourself. Because a guy sees red flags when you open your mouth like that. So shut the fuck up. We already know we're number 2. We don't want to hear it. That's the first reason. The second reason. A lot of you women, if we choose to get with you, you let us know right up front that we are not allowed to discipline your kids. Let me say that again. A lot of you women tell us up front that we are not allowed to discipline your kids. Some women say, you know, my kids mess up, you tell me, and I'll handle them. They're not yours. And don't lie, women. You say that shit. You know, you have friends that have said it. And a lot of you women agree with that dumb shit. That is a no-no. That's a red flag. Let me tell you something. If I'm paying for that little bastard's food, I'm paying for the clothes on his back, because half of them ain't not getting any child support from their real daddies. So if I'm clothing that little motherfucker, I shouldn't talk like that. I'm getting emotional. See, I got to remember, you know, when I start getting like that, just think of what would Spock say, you know, so I got to stop getting emotional with this. So let me dial back. I should be calling them little motherfuckers. So if I'm clothing those little bastards, feeding the little bastards and helping them educate them and sending them to private school sometimes, and, you know, driving them around to baseball and football practice, I'm literally the father or doing fatherly duties, but I'm not allowed to discipline them when they fuck up, when they step out of line. I'm not going to tolerate that, because that turns into a situation where the kids grow up and they don't respect me. That motherfucker he just pay the bills. He has nothing on me. He don't tell me what to do. I go to mom. Mom is the enforcer. What kind of shit is that? That is the problem in society today. You got these punk ass dudes who give up their title as king to these feminist women, you know, and the women are running the households. The women are running the households, and that is the problem. That will not happen in my household. That would not happen in any real man household where women is running the household. So a lot of times when men see stepchildren, automatically the woman always say eventually, look, you don't discipline my kids. I do that. And that's bullshit. So I'm not going to tolerate that. That's going to be a problem down the line. So let me just avoid that problem. I'm not going to fuck with her. That's the way a lot of guys think, ladies. They know that you will not allow us to discipline your kids because they're not ours. Hell, a lot of you won't even let the real father discipline the kids. So you know you're not going to even let a stepfather discipline the kids. That is bullshit. Now, you have some exception to the rule. I knew a girl when I lived in Atlanta back in the day. You know, she had a stepfather, and she allowed that man to discipline the kids. And when they fuck up, he'll tear in their ass, and she'll back him up. That is rare. That is super rare. Super rare. Super rare. Super rare. Most women do not want you touching their kids, especially if you're not the real father. So, ladies, that's a problem. That's a problem with a real man. No man going to go in that situation where they're paying all the bills. They're holding up their end of the deal financially, you know. But when the kid fuck up, you know, you don't allow them to discipline them. You know, go see your mother. Hey, you did what? Go see your mother. What? So, ladies, that is reason number 2. You know, we are there for every step of the way, but we don't even get to discipline these little bastards. That's a problem. And that's a problem that most men choose to avoid. All right. Number 3, baby's daddies. I always said that, you know, a lot of times it depends on the fathers of, you know, these little bastards. And I always said that if I get with a woman, you know, end up with a woman with kids, which I'm going to do everything in my power not to, you know, again, that it's not that I hate kids. I hate the problems that come with it. I always said that if I did get hooked up with a woman with kids, that I hope the baby's daddies is some good guy where I don't have to whoop their ass. You know, a lot of times men, just to cause shit, they keep shit up. You know, don't hit my kids. You know, they never cared about the kids. They never, you know, was concerned in any way, but they just want to keep chaos in your household. You know, tell the kids, don't listen to him. I'm your father. You know, all that kind of shit. And I'll end up whooping somebody's ass, going to jail over some bullshit. You know, so I don't, a lot of men just don't want to deal with that. You know, dealing with the baby's daddies. Now, a lot of times the situation is the baby's daddies have moved on. You know, they have their own family, a second family. You know, they're not really in the kids' lives. You know, so they're really not in the picture. Or a lot of times, sometimes they're dead or something, or in another state or something. Those are good situations. But when you have a situation where the baby daddies is in the same city, and every time you look around, they're knocking on a door, you know, calling or some shit, just keeping up shit, that could be a problem. And that's a problem that a lot of guys don't want to deal with. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. You think about it, ladies. Why would a man go into some shit like that where they're dealing with problems all the time, you know, problems that could have been avoided. And it could have been avoided by just getting with a woman with no kids. All right. I hope you ladies are listening to me. Number 4. That's 3, right? Number 4. A lot of women. This women, you know, I was talking to a woman, you know, back in the day. This is a while ago. You know, I had no intention on marrying her. I was just trying to get the pussy, you know, back then. This was a long time ago. I'm not like that now. But so she was telling me that, she was saying, so what you want to do? And I want to get this pussy. What you mean what I want to do? I couldn't tell her that though. So I said, I want to get a nut. That's what I wanted to tell her, but I couldn't. So I had to play off. I had to lie to her. This is a long time ago. I wouldn't do that now. But I had to say, I just want to meet somebody special, and settle down with. And, tell her all that shit that they want to hear, ladies. And she told me that, okay, well, I just want to let you know that, I'm not having any more kids. She had 3 kids, Like I said, back then, if she had 3 kids, I didn't care. Because I just wanted the pussy anyway. But if I wanted to marry her, right, she already told me, look, I'm not having any more. So this is it. So basically she was saying, I'm not having no more kids, so nothing from your nuts coming in this pussy, but you can help me take care of mine that I already have. What? That's not even fair. That's not even fair. And that's what the deal is with a lot of women today. They already have kids. They already have 1 or 2 kids, or maybe 3. So they're not having any more kids. So they expect the man who wants kids to come in and be happy with raising someone else's kids and not even getting their own. And a lot of men know that once a woman has had multiple kids, like 2 to 3 kids, more than likely they are not having any more. So as a result, they stay away from those women. They already have kids. She probably don't want any more. Let me move on to someone else. Now, a lot of times, if she has 1, they might try her. Maybe. Not me. But I'm talking about other men might give her a shot because she had 1 kid. Depending on the age of the kid and a lot of factors come into play. But if she has 1 kid, they'll work with that. But if she has like 2 kids, especially from 2 kids from 2 different nut sacks, or 3 kids from 2 different nut sacks, or 3 different nut sacks, that's a no-no. That's a no-no. So a lot of men, knowing that you have multiple kids already, they're pretty sure that you're not going to want to have more. And in addition to that, when you have multiple kids from multiple nut sacks, that's multiple baby daddy drama that you have to deal with. That's a no-no. A lot of men don't want to deal with that. It's not fair, ladies, that you would expect a man to want to go in some bullshit like that. But a lot of you do. A lot of you do. So I'm telling you the reasons why. I'm being honest with you. I just hope that you remember what I'm saying to you. Because, nobody else, I don't know if I heard some guys be blunt like that, but I haven't heard anyone give you a list. This is why men stay away. It's not that men hate kids. It's not that men are running away from responsibilities. It's the problems. So the last and final reason why men don't want to be stepfathers, those kids are bad. They are bad little motherfuckers. And I've seen that situation going to women's homes that I'm trying to get the pussy from, and these little bad motherfuckers running around, hollering and just throwing shit and no discipline, right? And you expected to go in a situation like that. So these kids are bad. And going back to the previous list that I had, the previous reason, you're not allowed to discipline the kids. So, you go in a situation where these kids are fucked up and you can't even do anything about it. So, the kids are messed up. They, depends on, how old they are. They're in school. You have to always go to a conference and they problems with the juvenile police and getting arrested and shit at 12. That kind of shit. Nobody wants to go into that kind of shit. If it's avoidable, why would a man go into that? So ladies, I'm just being straight up with you. Those are the reasons why men don't want to be stepdads. It's pure and simple. Number one, because women, you talk too damn much. Shut the fuck up. Stop saying men need to learn how to accept being number two. We already know that. We don't need for you to say it. We already know that we're behind your kids. Whether it's our kids or somebody else's, we already know we're number two. So stop saying that shit. We don't want to hear. So shut the fuck up. Number two, we're not allowed to discipline the kids. If we go in a situation where we're paying all the bills and supporting these little bastards, we deserve to discipline the kids. It's for their own good. So ease off that shit, ladies. You're not running the house. You're not running my house. Allow stepdads to discipline the kids. Allow them to be fathers. That's what you want, right? A lot of you want fathers. Allow them to be a father. Number three, baby daddies. If a man come into your family and take care of your stepkids, your kids, and make him his stepkids, tell the baby daddies to stay out of your business. Just do what he's supposed to do. Come and have custody on the weekends. Send the child support check. Shut the fuck up. He has no power in your house. And ladies, that's something you have to do. Because a lot of times if a man have to do it, then it's going to be real trouble. Like if it, let me stop. So yeah, babies, daddies. Number four, ladies, if you have multiple kids, stop saying that you're not going to have any more. You got to give. If that man want a kid, you got to give him a kid. You got to give him one. I mean, that's fair. You had 3 from different nut sacks. You can't have one more. But this is the reasons why men don't want to date women with kids. This is the reasons why men don't want to be stepdads. And the last and final reason, badass kids. Allow someone to discipline your kids. Obviously, you're not. So allow him to come in and discipline. Maybe they won't be bad anymore. So these are the 5, I would say, biggest reasons why men don't want to be stepfathers. It's just too much trouble. And it's avoidable trouble. With your kids, you don't know your future. You have kids and they either grow up good kids or bad kids. You don't know. But stepkids are different. You see the situation. You see what's going on at the present time. And a lot of time it's a fucked up situation. So why would men go into that? And it's fucked up for various reasons. The reasons on my list, those are 5 good reasons why it's messed up situation. So men, life is hard enough as it is, so they avoid that kind of stuff. That's why they don't want to be stepfathers, ladies. Not because they hate kids, it's because they hate the problems that come with them. And a lot of times those problems are generated by you. The things that you do, the things that you allow in your fucking mouth. So anyway, I hope you listen. This is for the real mothers. I hope you listen. These are the reasons. Change these things. And I guarantee, I'm not saying that every guy be like, oh shit, oh yeah, I'll go with you. Every guy, if you change all 5 things on my list, there's some men out there that still won't deal with you. Never. But I guarantee if you change some things on my list or address some issues on my list, that your chances will go up in finding a stepfather. Someone will step in. It won't be me. Shit. But some men will. And hell, you fix enough, I might step in. Shit, who knows? I don't know what the future may hold. You know, anything can happen. I'm not going to say anything. Yeah, anything can happen. So, you know, if I'm saying that, there is a chance. There is hope. But ladies, you have to start with you and fixing your situation before someone else comes into it. All right, that concludes another episode of the XY Show. Be sure to check me out every week. I'll definitely have you a weekly episode coming out hot on the press weekly, I promise, even though I'm trying to get the fuck out of Florida. But I will definitely have you a fresh episode every week. Be sure to check me out. Go to my website and find out all the episodes that you missed and may have, forgot to listen to, or you forgot you want to listen to again. Please do so. You can check me out on my social media. I'm on Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, Threads. So check me out. You can find all of that on my website, which is www.thexyshow.com, www.thexyshow.com. Also on the Podbreed Network. Check it out. Up and coming network. Very good, very classy. Helping get the word out for indie podcasts. So Podbreed Network, check them out. And that is it. Also a comment card on my website. So if you have any comments, you want to say anything to me, be sure to reach out and I will definitely get back to you. With that said, I will leave you with this. I will see you next week. And remember, there could never be love or lust without X and Y. Later.
You've been listening to The X and Y Show with your host, Roosevelt Colbert, the place where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. Join us next time. You can now put your clothes back on. Or not.